Hello everybody, it's your boy Lumenaddy, and let's get right into it. And I want to start again by looking at the last episode that we did, which was on April the 22nd. It was episode 20, and I want to show what my prediction was back on the 22nd of what we can expect the market to be like in the next few days. And then we'll go to today's market to see if that came to fruition or not. So here we go. There we are. And the market, when it retraces back 50%, it'll get to 37.61, and if we're around 60%, it'll be 35.55. So I'm picking just right around the 50%, 3,700, a little bit below that. But this region right here is where I would think most buy orders are going to be placed for the market to continue up. All right, so that was on April the 22nd. So if we go to the market currently, and let's move our cursor to the 22nd, which is this candle bar right here. And what did the market do? We said that it was going to hit the 50% retracement and then bounce back. And guess what, y'all? It did exactly that. This is a 50% retracement. It dipped a bit below that. It went all the way down to 36.81, closed right around the 50% retracement, and it just shot right back up. So if you had watched that last video and you put your buy orders where I'd expected all the buy orders to be, you would be laughing right now with some healthy profits and whaling up, and that's awesome. I'm really glad if that was the case, and if not, it's okay because we're in a bull market, so you could just put your buy orders in, and if you hold long term, you would be just fine. And which market am I talking about? I'm talking about the Stellar BTC market. This trades on Poloniex. My charts are on tradingview.com. And where do I expect the price to move up, or where would be the key points for you to collect profits? So I'm thinking long term. I'm not doing day trading for very short intervals, because I think honestly with this bull market, you want to take as much as profit and take the big swings. So I would say that the next collection profit zone is over around 61.90, the previous all-time high. I'd expect you to get a good rebound off that, and then you could then again collect profit at 72.60, 86.93, 99.39. I think that's going to be a huge collect profit zone, because I expect a big bounce back from that region over here. And then 12.742. This region, again, I expect it to be a huge collect profit zone, which is around 1600, 16.791, and 19.293. Now, when do I expect it to get to these levels? Probably in end of the year, 2 years. In this year, the level that I expect us to get to is definitely past the previous all-time high, getting to the levels of 86.93. So the three key levels where I expect us to collect profit would be 61.90, 61.81, 71.70, and then 86.93 Satoshis. I think those are good. Collect your profit zones, and then you could buy back in after 50% retracements from the previous leg, just like how we did this 50% retracement. If you had seen my previous video on how we drew that, it would tell you where to buy back in to continue doubling up on your stack. All right, so that's what we do. That's what we're going to expect with Stellar BTC. It's a quick short video on that because, as I promised in the last video, I want to talk about Smartlands. So what is Smartlands and why am I talking about it? Well, full disclosure, I'm definitely invested in Smartlands. I'm not part of the team, but I'm just an investor from just like anybody else on the market. I happened to find this coin and found it to be interesting, so I took a small position in it. And the reason I want to talk to you about this today is because what we're doing here with these graphs is we're all trying to increase our stellar amount, right, in relation to BTC. But being that Stellar is a platform in itself and it has other currencies that ICO on it,
that's another way of increasing your stellar amount too, by investing in those coins that come out on the platform. And as they rise up, you can flip back into stellar. So Smartlands, out of all the ones that they have, Mobi, SureRemit, and Smartlands, those are the top three I would say that's on their platform right now. The other ones I don't really like. I prefer Smartlands the most, and I'll explain why. Because I think this is really a coin that's the part of the third wave. What I mean by the third wave is the first wave to me was Bitcoin, in that it provided people the opportunity to send value via encryption, right? You could exchange value. That's what Bitcoin was. The second wave to me was platforms for ICOs via Ethereum Stellar, right? And creating smart contracts and being able to create digital currencies and really ICOs, to me, was the second wave. To me, the third wave is asset-based tokenization, which is taking real-world assets, having the ability to audit them, evaluate them, put a value on them, and to tokenize it so that it allows investors direct access to the asset in terms of obtaining that value in a token, and it allows the company that's producing the asset to gain capital. And I think this is the next wave of blockchain industries that are going to be revolutionized. So if you go to smartlands.io, you can definitely read up more into it. A couple things I want to touch on is if you go to their product page, they have a presentation and where they really describe how asset tokenization is the future of investments. And this is what really gets me excited, because where the big money is in investment banking. And we all know that that's where Wall Street lives, investment banking. With blockchain and cryptocurrencies, investment banking is now more accessible to the general population without middlemen, right? We get to decide where we put our money minus any broker fees, and we get to evaluate what we want to support, not support, and really watch our money be controlled by us. So they talk about how in the past investment banking was very traditional, very much strict, whereas the future really allows us to be quick, be mobile, be very selective, be independent. And what industries are they going to be taking on with this tokenization? Their use cases: 4 major, big, huge industries: real estate, manufacturing, agriculture, and private shares. And I would really encourage you to do your research. I'd encourage you to read their white paper. They have a light paper as well. And just read into it. I'm not saying invest in it, because just full disclosure, I'm not a financial advisor. Make your own investing decisions. All I'm doing is shedding light to an opportunity that I took advantage of and I feel very confident about. So that's why I'm sharing it. And if you look at my previous videos, this isn't something new. If you look at my previous 20 videos, you'll always see tabs open for Smartlands, because I've been reading into it, been researching it, seeing price action, investing in it, taking returns, investing in it again. And finally, I decided, you know what, this is something worth sharing. So I very much felt confident in sharing it after really looking into it. And again, if you look at my previous chart analysis and predictions, I'm very particular on my analysis. I like to be very straightforward. If something's wrong, I like to openly admit that I was wrong, and if something's right, I always like to shed light to that. And I feel this is going to be one of those use cases, one of those analysis that I make that I really think is going to come to fruition as well, in that this is very early. It's at an early stage. They ICO'd last November and on the Stellar network, and they've released a roadmap for this year. And if you look through their objectives, they're just about to do one of their major objectives of this year, which is release their wallet. I believe their wallet is going to be released tomorrow. They had released a beta version for testing, and their full live wallet comes out tomorrow. And after that, they are going to be releasing a few asset-based tokens this year as per their AMA on Stellar. Their chief CTO did an AMA on Stellar, and he gave some insight into what we can expect this year. And the asset-based tokens news was very exciting, because one of the key things about these tokens being released on this Smartlands platform is that they themselves require to hold the token SLT. So that increases demand for that token. And so early investors will always see the greatest returns. As more ABTs are being released, they themselves will have to hold SLT tokens, so that the supply will have to be present for them, or it'll just increase the demand. So speaking of the supply and demand, I think now is a good time to talk about the supply, the demand, and really their performance. So this is on Litecoin Watch. If you look at this, logo is incorrect. They have a new logo. If we look at, I look at the 7 to 30 days. If you look at in the past 30 days and the past 7 days, how Smartland has done compared to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the US dollar, I mean, it's blowing past them. And if you go to CoinMarketCap and you look since January, they had a mini pump in January. When this was when they actually got listed on CoinMarketCap. They pumped hard. And then obviously everyone collected profits. They announced their roadmap. And since then, it's been slowly gaining. And what's important to know is that this is the end of March, right? And this is the start of Feb. You see that if you look from start of Feb to the end of March, they actually gained in value multiple times. They had mini spikes in there, which is very important because that's when there was a huge bear market in the crypto space. And Smartlands was actually gaining. And obviously when the whole crypto market went into a bull run, they also went into a bull rise, and now they're consolidating as they touched back up to their previous all-time high, and this forming a mini cup. And then I predict right now they're in a handle formation, which is an ensuing bull pattern. So their value should continue to rise as it coincides with also them completing their roadmap objectives, with their wallet release to be tomorrow, for them to release asset-based tokens later on in the year, and then eventually have an index fund. So if I didn't completely make sense with what Smartlands is, they do have an old video that I would encourage you to go look at. When they initially started about 7 months ago, they wanted to be just exclusively focused on agriculture companies and creating asset-based tokens for agriculture. However, as they released their project, they realized that there is a great demand for other markets like real estate, private shares, private companies, those other use cases that I showed earlier. And so they expanded their reach. And I think it's really good that they did that. But here's a quick spiel on what they're about.
The population of the Earth is growing rapidly. The amount of food consumed increases exponentially. We are currently on the verge and we are starting to push our luck. If we don't find the solution how to raise efficiency of food production, in time humanity will face food shortage and hunger. More than 90% of 570 million farms are owned and operated by families, and they produce 80% of entire food production, but they lack sources of investment to upgrade and increase their efficiency. Smartlands is a platform where farmers with their assets and investors with free resources create added value. Smartlands is a new and unique platform that creates an ability to tokenize agricultural assets. Both farmers and investors benefit from using Smartlands in their business. The Smartlands platform was created by experienced and well-known specialists from agribusiness. For the pilot project, Smartlands chose a walnut orchard, which will be the first asset on a platform with experience of the synergy between agribusiness expertise and blockchain technology. Smartlands Orchards is located in Southeast Europe, where the most advanced technologies are used: meteorological stations, unmanned drones, and satellite surveillance that is using the latest data processing systems with the ability to predict future results by using artificial intelligence. Smartlands Orchards will serve as an example and a guideline for farmers on how to access new sources of financing for their projects and development. Our generation has a chance to create a truly new paradigm in social evolution.
All right. So, actually, you know what? I'll play the next video as well because it goes a little bit into how the platform works.
Smartlands, first worldwide platform for agricultural assets tokenization. The platform will change whole ICO landscape, providing investors with protection and platform tokens with consistent value growth. Platform process will include the following stages. First, analysis. The main idea is to check land and other assets' legal status, business plan quality, agricultural assets conditions. Second step, selecting the most optimal for all sites' jurisdiction. Third, the platform develops the smart contract and the collateral agreement is signed between an agricultural and escrow companies. And finally, ICO campaign. According to the platform rules and smart contract terms, investors will automatically purchase some specified amount of the platform tokens, SLT, from their holders while buying agro company asset-backed tokens, ABT. Such vehicle will secure constant demand for the platform tokens, SLT. Join us and get all benefits.
All right. So that should give you a good amount of information on what the platform is about and what they hope to accomplish. Just to go back, initially they started out with just being agriculture, but then they evolved into real estate, manufacturing, private shares, and agriculture use cases. And so this is what really excites me because it's an excellent tool in that they're going to tokenize assets. And I'm glad they're hitting all these big industries because that's what the common person and big investment banks want to do. They want to be part of multiple industries. They want to harness the power of blockchain for investment purposes, and they want to do it in a very secure and organized manner with good audits and escrow companies and just something that really has value to counteract the volatility in the crypto space. So why do I think that this is a good investment? Again, do your own research. You know, I'm not a financial advisor. Make your own investment plans. Why I invested in it is not only is it sound in its foundation, but also its supply, its circulating supply is only 5.1 million. Its total supply is 7.1 million. They released the other 2 million either this year. I think it's this year, November, they'll release it, or next year, November. But that's it. That's all they have. That's pre-mined, and that's it. And I think the demand is going to outstrip the supply. And getting into this early, I think, is the key aspect before it skyrockets. So that's my 2 cents. I don't recommend you invest without doing your own research. Just read into it. Just see how it moves. Compare it with other opportunities. All I wanted to do is just shed light onto it. So hopefully y'all like it. And always remember to do your analysis before you invest in anything. And we'll catch you next time, where I expect the markets to hit the previous all-time highs, and we'll go from there. All right. Until next time. Peace.